morning. Hey, um, good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, you know, I I listen to Muji in the morning, or I listen to other speakers, other teachers, and this morning I listened to Russell Brand. Hi, Wayne, can you hear me? I have a new set of headphones on. Hi, Tracy, can you hear me? I have a new set of headphones on. I'm just not sure if it's working. Hi, you guys. Hopefully you can hear me. Just saying I have a new set of headphones, and I didn't know how to test them, so so if you can hear me, let me say, yeah, hi David, I can hear you. So good morning. I was just saying that this morning I listened to great, thank you. I listened to Russell Brand, and Russell was talking about oh, thank you, hon. Thank you. Russell was talking about intuition, and you know, truly one of the things that comes up for all of us is, thank you, Tracy, is what what should I do? In often we're asking the question, what's the next step? What's the next move? What's the next thing in my life? Where should I live? Where should I work? And who should I be with? Should I leave this person or stay with that person or leave this job? So we have these constant questions going on for most of us of you know decisions, and Russell spoke really well about intuition this morning in his little YouTube blog, and Russell puts out a lot of stuff, and there's often some great information in it. And Russell also makes no bones about the fact that his spiritual path has been the 12-step path, and he speaks of it often. And so, I found him inspirational this morning in that when he spoke about how do we be in our intuition, and how do we be in our how do we connect with our intuition, and what blocks us, if you will, from that connection, and that's really the essence of all what I've been talking about for a long time. Is we are naturally, I believe, we're naturally spiritual beings, or we're naturally one with the universe, and we've taken on human form, and in human form we get into this way of living that's possible for all of us, that it is kind of confusing, and just a second, okay, hang on, just a second. Nathaniel, would you close the door? Thanks, buddy. I don't know if you could hear that, but I could feel the distraction of he's on the phone in his room. Anyway, so I just did something about it. Oh gosh. So the distractions in our life, and that was a great example, the distractions in our life are often what's happening inside of ourselves, and fear, anger, resentment, self-pity, all of these, we'll call them emotions, but they're feelings, or, that are coming up inside of us, and then we project them out in complaint and judgment, and so we're often living in that level, and when we're at that level of fear and judgment and complaint and anger, and it's hard to be connected to our intuition, if not impossible, because what happens is the first thing that comes up is a no. No. Fear is a no. And so I think it was Plato or Socrates that said, know thyself. And one of the beautiful things that happens in the steps that I was telling you about, the 12 steps, is that we go through a process of called the 4th step. I mean, all of it in the early stages, and is actually the whole thing, always, on all the steps, we're seeing ourselves. When we help others, we're seeing ourselves in them. And as we get to know ourselves in a deeper level, we can surrender, because some of what's happening is so subtle. Sometimes the fear is crept in, and it's so subtle. Or the what about me kind of ego stance, or I deserve, or these are my rights kind of an ego stance is so subtle. We believe that we deserve better. The universe or God owes us, or the government owes us, or that gal that we were seeing owes us, and so we're dealing with injustice, and we're caught in it. So in the 12 steps, whether we're brand new or we've been around as long as I have, which is coming up 40 years in sobriety, I'm still learning about me and surrendering, and seeing, even stuff that I thought I dealt with, oh my gosh, I let that go 20 years ago, and then it's there again, and so it never ends, this process of awakening, this process of surrender. It really never ends, but know thyself, and recognize that it takes way more energy. If you're tired all the time, it takes way more energy to live in fear and doubt and anger, way more energy to live in resentment and selfishness, and way less energy, because it's our natural state, to live in love. And ego says that we get love. There's no getting love. We are love. We just relax into it, and so it's not something outside of us that somebody else controls. So that's it. Just relax into it. It takes so little energy to be free, and freedom comes with awareness. Freedom comes with surrender. So that's it. And sometimes, we have to ask for what we want to. Today was a funny day. I wanted to do this outside, and I went and set up. And the neighbors are doing construction work over behind me over here. I thought, well, maybe I could do it here. And I said for a while, and I thought, no, it's just sweet. I can move away from that noise. So I did. I moved inside, and then there happened to be some internal noise in the house, and I just asked, say, hey, without energy, without roughness or edge to it, or don't you know that I'm doing my show thing, whatever it is I do, nothing like that. Just hey, and we can live like that, free of of anger and fear. I believe, if you're watching this and, you're you probably looking for a better way. And the better way that I found is this way, the spiritual way. There's, connecting moment to moment with this. And it's not even connecting, it's just realizing I am this. There's nothing to do, really. And you can have that. And if you ever want to come and talk a little bit more about it, we can do that. Oh my gosh, what day is it? Is it August 3rd? Anybody know? I think it's August 3rd. Is it? And if the last thing that Russell Brand said on his talk this morning was, if you want to have this connection, this intuition, this open line to the knowing of the moment, this open line to universal intelligence, it takes, he said, a lot of work. And in a way, that's true. It requires some focus, persistent on our part, to say yes to love, yes to freedom, yes to universal intelligence or God. But we have to be present. That's the deal. That's the work, is just being present and feeling what needs to be felt in each moment. Just feel it. And whatever comes up. And as we're more present, we see ourselves and the subtleties. So anyway, what day is it, you guys? Is it August 3rd? Anybody there? August 3rd? I think so. Yes, it would seem that, thank you, Tracy. Tracy said, I do have an ego. But it's a protective mechanism. And it would seem that way. It would seem that way. Because we've had it, for so long. And it will tell us, ego will say, I'm looking after you. And and it's a trust issue. And I agree. Tracy said, I'm new in sobriety, and there are certain people that should not be in my life. Yes, of course. And we do change our surroundings when we change our inner self. Our outer self does change. Yes, and or the other thing that does happen, and those people seem to change. And whether they change or not, or whether it's our perception of them that changes, but this all comes in time. Tracy, I'd love to speak with you more. I really would. This is, a really, kind of vulnerable place you are early in sobriety. And so if you have time, we can chat on the phone. I'd like that, and it would seem that can you still hear me? Oh, there we are. It just came back. Okay, there's August 3rd. The thought for the day. There we are. We in AA must remember that we are offering something intangible. That's what we just talked about. We're offering a psychological and spiritual program. We're not offering let the hospital take care of him. Our vital AA work begins when a person is physically able to receive it. Am I willing to leave medical care to the doctors? Yes, I am. Meditation for the day. Each moment of our day, which you devote to this new way of life, is a gift from God, the gift of the moments. Even when our desire to serve God is sincere, it is not an easy thing to give him many of our moments. The daily things you had planned to do, given up gladly, so that you can perform a good service or say a kind word. If you can see God's purpose in many situations, it will be easier to give him many moments of your life. Every situation has two interpretations. Your own interpretations, your own and God's. Try to handle each situation the way you believe God would have it handled. Ta-da. Hey, Jim. And then the prayer for the day, I pray that I may make my day count somewhat for God. I pray that I may spend it all selflessly. I pray that I may spend it all selflessly. Okay, that's the